The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
In the streets, people are out mourning, angry, protesting, chanting, traumatized about the police shooting and killing of Daunte Wright just a few miles away. And all this happening as we approach the one-year anniversary of George Floyd's death. The inescapable context of this is not just Floyd's death. It is the aftermath of that death and the protests and the police response to those protests. And it is also, inescapably, what happened on January 6th at the U.S. Capitol. And taking all this together, it is very hard not to see some fundamental contradictions in how our country, the state, wields force against its citizens, in terms of who has authority and who defers to whom in a police encounter and who, in the end, fears whom.
That was Chris Hayes, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you guys for joining me on the Daily Read. Chris Hayes, I like him as a broadcaster. He comes across as genuine, and you know, he's talking about fear, and I want to talk about fear today in the white and black community. I'm not going to talk about any other race in this country, not because the other races of people in this country are not important. The problem with their races is they're choosing sides. You got the Hispanics in the northern cities, most of them hang with blacks. You got Hispanics in the southern cities like Florida and Texas and Alabama, they run around with the whites. And you can go down the line and name any other nationality that lives in this country. They're picking sides. So I'm not going to talk about no other race of people in this country but blacks and whites, because blacks and whites have been going through this love-hate relationship in this country since the founding fathers first came here with their slaves, which was our forefathers. This is going to be one of those controversial shows, and the reason why this show is going to be so controversial is because there's going to be a lot of things I say here that whites or blacks will not like. But I'm not here to hold your hand. I'm here to tell you the truth and let you figure this stuff out. You know, once somebody gives you the truth about what's going on, you know, you can do a little research yourself and you can find it out yourself. But sometimes it takes somebody to open the door for you so you can get an understanding of what's going on. The first part of the show, we're going to talk about white fear and why you see a lot of this police brutality going on and a lot of this hatred and people like Donald Trump rising to power. All of this starts with fear. I'm not just going to talk about fear today. At the end of the show, thank you guys for joining me. Towards the end of the show, I'm going to tell you how we can resolve some of this, which is going to take decades. It's not going to be done overnight. But I'm going to give you some examples of how we can resolve these issues. So let's start with white fear. The second part of the show, we're going to talk about black fear. You see people, and I want to thank you again for all the support I've been getting over iHeartRadio, YouTube, Big O Live, whatever streaming platform that I'm on. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and supporting my broadcast. So let's talk about white fear. Whites didn't have fear of minorities before the 60s because whites can easily gather up right in front of the sheriff and beat you in the streets and hang you from a tree. There was no white fear of minorities. After the 60s, when they basically supposedly gave us equal rights during the time of the ending of Jim Crow and the rise of Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and John F. Kennedy and things like that, there started developing a fear in the heartland of America with white people that blacks and minorities in this country are going to replace them. It's called replacement therapy. Replacement theory. They think that people in this country are trying their best to replace whites with all types of Mexicans and blacks. They don't realize that this is a part of our country also. We fought in every war. The French and Indian, you can go back to the French and Indian War and the Revolutionary War. Blacks fought in those wars for this country. This is not just white America's country. They can't get that through their heads. And I'm not talking about every white person. So I don't want some white person thinking that I'm thinking all whites are bigots. But some of you whites still who are not bigots are living under the umbrella of you get more just by the color of your skin. And sometimes some of you feel like that's what you deserve. You might even hang with black people. But soon as some of the whites get threatened with positions of power, job opportunities, females, all kinds of things in life, then that bias comes out to where I feel like I deserve this. Why? Just the color of your skin alone shouldn't give you an opportunity over other people. Now, let's get to the meat potatoes of this, because this show right here is going to be so controversial. I'm going to have whites and blacks mad at me, because I'm going to tell you how Hollywood and hip-hop, the music industry, is playing a part in this. You see, everything has a action and a reaction to it. The fear of white America, they're fearing black America mainly. They fear other colored nationalities too, but they mainly fear black America because we are not the only ones that watch these hip-hop videos. Now I want to tell you something about the movies and hip-hop videos, because I got some clips I want to play. White America is seeing all of these young black males on camera with all of these AR-15s, TIC-9s. They're seeing this. But unfortunately, the government can't do anything about that because it's what you call expression of speech. It's their right to free speech. I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. You're going to have some rapper going to call me up and say, I'm not influencing black people to go out here and commit crimes and do this and do that. And what the government says is, you have a right to free expression. Just like Donald Trump had the right to go up there and say, you need to fight like hell. But the people that he influenced to go and run up at the Capitol, nobody told them to do that. You see, there's a difference. You can still influence somebody. They call people like me an influencer, a media influencer, because I have a podcast. They call people who get on YouTube media talents, because they are making trends in America. Understand how this is being played. You got a nationwide goon squad of young men and women out here on rap videos with guns talking about killing the ops. They can't go to jail for that because they're making money off of freedom of speech. But they are still influencing. You see, everything is like an action and a reaction. Whites already have a fear that minorities are taking their place in this country. So then when they see all of this stuff going on around here with the guns and the drugs and this and that, they don't realize that those young black males that's out here rapping and pointing guns at the screen, that's like 5 to 10% of the black population. The other 90% of black people are out here working. They're not even out here selling drugs and acting a fool in the streets. But they can't get that. So now you got a problem. White fear in America makes them cause a reaction, action. Their action is police brutality, creating laws that are going to dictate who votes and who don't vote. And mostly the people who don't vote are going to be black people. So they're suppressing your vote. Their fear is causing them to react. Their fear is causing them to react. And then their reaction is causing us to react. That's why you see buildings burning down. That's why you see, bottles being thrown at police officers in the streets. The cause is the fear. The action is the things that they're doing to minorities. The reaction is minorities going at them. You see, there would never be all-out slavery in this country ever again. There would never be total oppression of black people in this country. It'll be too much death in the streets. They know this. So what they're doing is, while we are stuck sending our kids on the football field, trying to get them into the pros so they can make a quick million, while we're stuck watching our kids bumble and stumble around trying to be rappers, they're pushing their kids into government. Because government runs everything, including hip-hop, including NFL players, including any industry you want to name. The government has their hands in it because it's regulated. So while we're busy pushing our kids into other forms of entertainment, they're pushing their kids into government and teaching them hatred while they're pushing them into government. You got to understand how this chess game is being played. Some of y'all out here playing checkers. These people are playing chess. I'm finna get into this next clip so you can get an understanding of what I'm saying.
In the case of George Floyd, Derek Chauvin's defense is centered around Floyd being a threat, a figure so fearsome, so terrifying and unruly that he had to be subdued and knelt on for more than 9 minutes, long after he took his last breaths.
Now, you just heard what Chris Hayes said. Chris Hayes said that Derek Chauvin's defense in the trial is that George Floyd was so unruly that he had to kneel on this man to get him under control. I watched that entire video, including clips that wasn't even him kneeling on George Floyd. You had 3 to 4 officers out there. If you can't slap a man across his head, put him in handcuffs, 4 of you, you don't need to be police officers. If you can't control one person and it's 4 of you, you don't need to be police officers. Plain and simple. But it's that fear. Remember what I said, people, because later on I'm going to get into the black fear and what's causing them to do the things they do. Us, us, our people. Because all of this is connected. I'm not talking about no other race of people in this country, because like I said, all the other races in this country are feeding off of our energy. They're feeding off black and white people's energy. I'm not saying that the Mexicans don't count. I'm not saying the Puerto Ricans don't count. I'm not saying that the Asian Americans don't count. But what I'm saying is, usually when you see other people besides black and whites, they're choosing sides. You might have a Filipino guy that hangs with me, But if you go to the Filipino community, most of them act like racist white people. They don't want blacks around. So basically what's going on is all of the other races of people in this country are feeding off the energy of the blacks and whites in this country. And our energy right now is getting to a boiling point. To the point where it's about to spill over into the streets. So let me show you two examples of white America's fear, what they see on TV, which is what 90% of us are not out here doing. Watch this. Now, I couldn't play the music to these videos because I don't own the rights to the music, but I can actually play you the footage. I just showed you two separate groups of hip-hop artists that don't even probably know each other from different parts of the country. These guys is grouped up in the hallway somewhere, flashing pistols. Half of these kids, I can look in their face and tell they've never even seen a dead body. That's not saying that they can't kill. That's not saying that they won't kill. What I'm saying is, the majority of these young men out here on these rap videos, and some of these females out here in these rap videos, when bullets get to flying, they ain't ready for that. They're not ready for that for real. This is a lot of fakery going on. But in the eyes of white America, they're looking at all of us as being dangerous. That's a fear. That fear leads into action. And then that action leads into a reaction, and everything just explodes. I'm going to get into this first commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about black American fears. And then towards the end of the show, I'm going to show you what's going on with Hollywood and the music industry and how they're keeping all of this going. We'll be back with the Daily Read.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Me and Bae gon' always be tight, though you not with me every single day and night. Even when they start to acting like a fool, yeah, they loving every single thing you do. You know that they can always be themselves. They love each other more than anybody else. And every day as you see them on YouTube, you know there's not one, it'll always be just two. Two stupid Emily, two stupid Emily, two stupid family. They'll make you scream. It makes me wanna sing. It's a family thing, a family. Two stupid family, stupid family. They'll push your buttons. It makes me wanna cry. It's a family thing, a family. Two stupid family.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
It shows Crocker and Officer Joe Gutierrez with their guns drawn and pointed at U.S. Army Lieutenant Karen Nazario.
What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
Nazario's crime? Driving a new car while black, asking the police questions and initially not complying.
Actively serving this country, and this is how you're gonna treat me? I didn't do any. Whoa, hold on. What's going? Hold on. Watch it.
Air Force deployed. Get out of the car!
The body camera footage and Nazario's cell phone video are now part of his $1 million lawsuit.
Sir, just get out of the car!
I'm trying to breathe.
Get out of the car now!
That's up. That's really.
Now, I want to welcome you back to the Daily Read. That right there was a military man, a black and Puerto Rican military man who was stopped by the cops. I think it was in Virginia. This is all going on while George Floyd's trial is going on. A young man got shot. I'm going to talk about him later on. A young man got shot by a female police officer in Minnesota, about 10 miles from the whole George Floyd trial. You see, black America has a fear too. This is going to mess some of y'all up. I'm talking about my people now. White people fear is being replaced by us, which is causing them to act and then us to react. Black America has a fear of being accepted. Guess by who? By their popular fans or friends and white people. That's going to mess some of y'all up. That's why you got the skin lightening creams. That's why you got women don't wear their naturals. They go around here straightening out their hair. That's why you got guys running around here trying to get Bentleys. You know, you don't normally see just Bentleys riding around here. I mean, it's crazy. People want to act and look like they're somebody in the black community. They have a fear of not being accepted. I can even use an example of my life. I remember my first time understanding this. It was the Bo Jacksons. I don't know how many of you are in your 40s, but I remember when the Bo Jacksons came out. The Bo Jackson shoes were better than the Jordans. Everybody wanted Bo Jacksons. If you didn't have Bo Jacksons, you wasn't nothing. If you didn't have a Pele coat or a Timberland coat, you wasn't nothing. Nobody wants to be nothing in the black community. You even got songs coming out now. Broke niggas don't deserve no pussy. I know that's right. But what is broke? I make money. But if I go to a woman who believes in that song, and she looks at a working man, she like, man, you broke. I need me a baller. You see, this is the problem in the black community. Everybody wants to be accepted. And the majority of the people that want to be accepted, they want to be accepted in rich circles. But everybody can't be in rich circles. It's impossible. There's not enough money out here. Even if everybody had a job, everybody can't be a millionaire. So now you got a fear in the black community of not being accepted because we were poor, so we had to wear Champion hoodies and Champion sneakers. That was the cheapest hoodies and sneakers we can get. The richer kids went out and bought Timberland hoodies and Timberland boots. So if you didn't have Timberland hoodie with the tree on it and Timberland boots, they looked at you like you was nothing. Oh man, you coming here with that Champion hoodie on, you broke. You see, that's turning into a problem in the minority community. I'm never going to tell somebody accept the fact that you are not having a lot of money. Never accept that. Go out here and try to get you something. But not to the point where you're damaging your entire nation or entire race of people to do it. That's a difference. That's a difference. You see, some rapper gonna call me up and say, hey man, I'm not influencing nobody to sell drugs just because I do it. I'm gonna tell him to his face, on the phone or in person, you a damn lie. Because anybody can talk somebody into jumping off the bridge. And then say, man, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I just rapped about it. There are some deeply flawed and influenceable people out here in the black community too. That's why they call you an influencer. That's why people call me up and say, hey man, I want to put a commercial on your show. Why? Because I'm an influencer. That's what podcasting, movies, hip hop. When you see these hip hop artists walking around talking about, man, I'm on Ciroc. You know why they put that in their rap music? Because Ciroc, the alcohol company, called them up and said, hey man, we want you to advertise our alcohol. So now you see your favorite rapper drinking his favorite alcohol. You finna go out here and start buying Ciroc. I can't stand Ciroc. Douce. I can't stand Douce. It's garbage. But as soon as Jeezy said he drank Douce, now you got everybody talking about swear on the Bible that Douce is the best alcohol you can buy. That's what you call influencing. But you can't go to jail for that because you have a freedom of speech. But it doesn't mean that you're not influencing people. Just because you have freedom of speech doesn't mean you're not influencing others to go out here and do crazy, stupid shit that they don't have no business doing. That's the action. The fear in the black community is not being accepted, not being part of the cool crowd, the cool kids. You got a lot of gang members out here. I was a gang member for almost 20 years. You got a lot of gang members out here don't even need to be in the damn gang. But they do it because they want to be cool. I'm going to tell you about the real gang members. Especially when it comes down to these influencing rappers. You never see these people until they want to have a video. And then they'll call you up on the block. You and about 15 of your homeboys. You ain't seen these guys in a whole year. Every time you see them, they on a boat or down in Florida with a whole bunch of IG models. They don't even know your name. They grew up in your hood, but they don't even know your name. And then they'll call you up and say, hey man, I'm coming back through the hood, man. I'm going to shoot a video. I want all the guys to come out and support me. So now you got a whole bunch of people he ain't seen in damn near 6 months. They put a ski mask on. They got guns out there. Half them guns are prop guns. People don't realize that. You can find prop guns for $100. You can find a gun that looks real, that has a clip you can take out. All of that stuff is fake. That's the fear that we minorities have. The whites have fear of being replaced. Blacks have a fear of not being accepted, not having the best looking girl. Who cares about that? Not having all the money. Who cares about that? Are you good in life? Not being invited to all the hottest parties. Who cares about that? You see, by the time we minorities figure out sitting inside a jail cell for 20 or 30 years that I did all that for nothing because them same people that influenced you and you wanted to impress, they ain't nowhere around. They ain't finna write you no letter. They're not finna come visit you. They're not finna do none of that. They're not finna do none of that. And they might tell on you. Just so they can get back out and enjoy their career. Like 6ix9ine. He gonna tell on you. So he can come back out here and write some more rap songs. This real life. This ain't that fake stuff you gonna see on TV. I'm not done with black fear. I'm not done with black fear at all. Because black fear of not being accepted is causing an action. Just like white fear of being replaced is causing them to go out here and create laws and the police to go out here and shoot black people unarmed in the back and kill them. Not being accepted is causing an action in the black community. You got young men out here who will go out their way to get automatic weapons. Half of them, you can tell how they hold the guns. They don't even know how to shoot them. Not properly. A real killer tell you, why you got an automatic weapon? You leaving bullets everywhere. Each one of them bullets got your fingerprints on them. Somebody got to load that gun. Real killers walk around with 38s. They don't walk around with automatic weapons. They taking their bullets with them. This real life. Some people ain't getting that. I'm finna get into this young man who just got killed by the police in Minnesota. Now, like I said, my show is a controversial show. I don't pull no punches. I don't care if whites or blacks don't like me. I'm good. I don't have to impress nobody. Now, I'm finna show you why. Like I said, every action is a reaction. And the action behind that. Let me set this up for you before I show y'all this video. Because this is going to mess some of y'all up, especially in the black community. Devontae Wright. We all saw that video of how they tried to wrestle him down. And the woman yelled out taser and she shot him. And killed him. Everybody's rioting. They're in the streets protesting. Because like I said, there's a connection between black fear and white fear. Everything's connected. This is how it's connected. A video just popped up of Devontae Wright running around here right before him and a friend did a robbery. Allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly because it's not been proven that he did it. He's smoking weed. He has a pistol in his hip. He pulls it out, points it at the camera like he's one of these rappers. Remember what I said, people. You can look at Devontae Wright and tell he's a kid that don't know what the hell he's doing. He has a gun on the screen. He's pointing at the camera like he's one of these rappers out here. You know, talking about what he finna do. This video just popped up. I might be the first one y'all seeing it from. I don't know. But like I said, I'm not trying to smear the guy. I think how he died was wrong. I'm trying to show you how black fear, Devontae Wright had a fear of not being accepted in his hood. You can look at this kid and tell he probably was a good kid. He probably could have went to college. He probably could have did anything in life besides get on the camera trying to be hard. I guarantee the police already saw that video. I promise you, I bet they saw it. That's the reason why everybody's asking this question, why did it take 3 or 4 police officers to stop him? on a regular traffic stop. Think about that. They already had this film. They already saw this video of him pointing guns. And he probably don't even know how to use that gun. But it's the white fear that's saying this black man is dangerous. That's why so many officers had to pull up on him when they stopped him. Devontae Wright had a fear of not being accepted by people around him that he was probably hanging with. So now he's walking around with guns trying to be like them. Instead of saying, man, I don't need no gun. I ain't not out here in nothing. He walking around with a it looked like a Glock 9. I'm finna show this video. I'm finna stop talking and show you the video. Because and like I said, this is a controversial show, but I don't hold no punches back. I'm gonna give it to you white people, and I'm gonna give it to you black people too. This shit is like a cycle that's getting out of control in America. Fear. Look at this.
And now, new video is being released of Daunte Wright, which some claim may play a factor into the investigation. A warning, this video is graphic. In the video, you can see the 20-year-old waving around a firearm, holding a bottle of Hennessy, flashing large piles of cash, and smoking what appears to be marijuana. According to court records, the warrant that was issued for Wright's arrest was related to aggravated armed robbery. Wright and another man were charged with first-degree aggravated robbery in 20...
Now, like I said, I showed you that video not to disrespect the dead. I don't want somebody to think I'm Candace Owens. I'm not taking the side of white supremacy like her. I'm giving you the real. Black fear and white fear is feeding off each other. White fear is minorities are taking over this country. We got to arm ourselves. We got to take our country back. Black fear, people ain't gonna like me if I don't have a lot of money. People ain't gonna like me if I don't have the latest jewelry, the latest clothes, the latest cars. So now I got to go out here with these guns and act like I'm one of the cool crowds. I'm gang banging. I'm throwing up gang signs. I'm throwing up gang signs and stuff. You see, that right there, those fears of white America and black America is feeding off each other. It's got us in a continuous loop of hatred. And everybody else, like I said, all the other the races in this country, I'm not talking about them because they are taking sides. Even the gay community, I'm gonna talk about them for a second. The poor gays, you can see them at Black Lives Matter rallies. The poor gays waving a little rainbow tribe flag. The rich gays, you don't hear nothing from them. You know why? Because they hang with the Republican side. Yeah, this is a controversial show. I don't hold no punches. You see, as long as they got a little money, the whole being embarrassed about being gay, it don't affect them. It don't affect them. The poor gays are the ones being shut out, being talked about, scared to come out the closet. The rich gays, they running around on red carpets. You won't see them at no protest. The rich gays. See, everybody else is feeding off of blacks and whites. They energy. I'm finna give it to you. That's why my show is one of the hottest urban shows in America right now. I'm finna get into the next commercial break. And when I come back, I'm gonna explain to you guys how we can resolve this problem. Because I'm not just gonna sit here and berate people and not give you an antidote. The antidote is real simple. It's gonna shock some of you, Once you hear what I got to say about that. The solution to all of this drama going on between white America, black America, the hatred that we got going back and forth, and all of these other countries, other nationalities around here taking sides, all of this stuff can be easily resolved. It's easy, it's simple. When you figure this out, then you're gonna understand what I'm saying. We're gonna get back. We're gonna get back off this commercial break, and when we come back, I'm gonna give you a simple, straightforward solution to all of this.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
I'm ready.
Camera's ready.
I'm ready. Welcome to Are You Scared Talent Shows. It's a new talent show that we put on TV for y'all to get used to because these people can't act. And so we're going to show y'all what the real deal is when you get on front of the camera and what some garbage acting look like. I tell you, garbage acting. This is Are You Scared Talent Shows, okay? I'm going to show y'all some acts of some talents. $5,000. It really ain't $5,000. I just said $5,000 because $5,000 sound like some people want to come and join a talent show if it was paying $5,000. So I'm your host, Eric Jones. Are You Scared Talent Shows?
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, people, and we're back with the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. I'm going to end this show up by talking about a simple, straightforward way we as Americans, because all of us are Americans. You born here, you're an American, whatever color you are. But I'm going to tell you a simple, straightforward way that we can end all of this foolishness. But it's going to take everybody's cooperation. Number one, economics. Economics, plain and simple. Because when people got money in their pocket, they don't care nothing about your color. I'm gonna let that sit on your soul for a minute. When people are out here making it, instead of one race of people trying to haul everything to themselves, because that's basically what's going on. Not only is white fear a fear of being replaced, but white fear of being replaced also is the replacing of the economics in this country, evening it out. They want to be the only ones to ride around on yachts and be a part of golf clubs, prestigious golf clubs. Yeah, they'll accept a few blacks here and there, the Tiger Woods type. They'll accept one or two of them. But they don't want a flood of minorities going inside their golf clubs. They don't want that. Don't get it twisted. Just because you see one or two minorities in there. If you see a flood of blacks going inside a golf club, a major golf club, you're going to start seeing a whole list of white people stop their registration. Not stop the blacks' registration because they know they can't do that. You're going to start seeing them stop their registrations. They're going to start quitting the golf clubs. And then you ask yourself why. You know why. You see, you got a race of people who feel like all the wealth, the majority of it, except for the few black entertainers. If you catching that football, you entertaining. You rapping, you're entertaining. Stepping and fetch it, bojangling. You dribbling that basketball, you entertaining. You acting, in the movies, you entertaining. So basically what's going on is the vast majority of the white population has all the wealth, and they accept a few minorities, but you're an entertainer. You make us laugh, you make us cry, you make us bob our head to the music, you make us cheer when you catch that football for a 50-yard pass. That's why Laura Ingraham, I can't stand her. That's why she got on TV, on Fox News, and told LeBron James to shut up and dribble. Y'all didn't understand what she was doing. She telling you everything I'm telling you right now, but she was saying it in a racist way. I'm letting you know that if you're a minority, you making it rich in this country, I'm almost willing to guarantee you entertain somebody. I'm gonna let that sit on your soul for a minute. It's some real stuff. You can't find this on TV. They're not gonna tell you this on rap videos. Every rapper out there, whether you're an aspiring rapper or a mainstream rapper, you're an entertainer. Very few of you guys, very few, take your hip-hop money and start major corporations. Very few of you take your hip-hop money and go back into your community and buy up a whole lot of houses and rent them out to people for half the price. That's how you uplift your community. Think about that. Think about that. You showed me $1 million watch. You got one clown, he done tattooed a cross, $100,000 cross in the middle of his forehead. You got money like that? How come you not out here buying houses for your community that you came out of, tearing them down, rebuilding some decent housing, and renting them out to people in your neighborhood for 70% of the price? If the rent's $1,500, rent it to them for $1,000. You know, show your community that you back in your community to give back. You ain't gonna see that. You're not gonna see that. But you'll see them in the strip club throwing 5-10 grand and bragging about it. This is foolishness. But it all goes back to fear. They do that because if they go the route that I talked about, going back into their community, trying to do good in the community, they have a fear that people are not going to accept them and call them real. So what they do is they go back into community and terrorize more people, sell more drugs. You see, they got to maintain that coolness so they can rap some more about and brag about what they're doing. Strange. This is some strange shit. I'm not just talking about black America, I'm talking about white America too. You let an orange man in the White House tell you to march on the Capitol, and he's coming with you. He turns around and walk off, go back into the White House, because he knows your fear. He don't care nothing about you because he's rich, but he knows your fear. Your fear is being replaced by black people and minorities. So him and some of these Republicans have riled you up. Now you got all these undercover bigots coming out the closet. You know, like a homosexual coming out the closet being gay. You know, you got all these undercover bigots. They done popped up out of nowhere. No, they wasn't in nowhere. They were somewhere. They was amongst us. the whole time sitting back hating the fact that a lot of us minorities are actually out here making good in life without all the crime. You know, without the guns, without the crime. Just like this lieutenant who was stopped by these police officers. And this is the killing part about this. One of the police officers, the one that got fired, he's a minority. He's a Hispanic. But remember what I said about all of the other races of people in this country. They're choosing sides. You got some light-skinned blacks, and you got Hispanics, you got Arabs, you got Asians. A lot of these people look white. Even light-skinned blacks, like Stacey Dash, who came out on a video crying, talking about she regrets being a part of the Trump movement. Bitch, get out of here. You know Trump is not in power anymore. So now you're trying to get your black card back. You crazy. You see, you can look at somebody like Stacey Dash and you can tell she looks damn near white. So for years while she was in Hollywood, she was getting by, making money, shitting on other black people, being in all the white girl movies as one of the cheerleaders. So now that all these white supremacists are being exposed and Donald Trump is no longer in power, now all of a sudden she's one of us again. We don't need no turncoats and backstabbers with us. We don't need that. Stay where you at. This is real life. I'm finna end today's show and I hope y'all learn something, because economics can get us out of this. When you out here making money, people don't have time for hatred. Just like an old gang member told me years ago. He said, man, we need to stop all this warring and fighting with each other, man, because if you out here fighting in the street, can't nobody make no money. When it's wartime, you can't make money, because ain't nobody gonna come out. Crackheads ain't even gonna come out. I hope y'all learned something, man. This is the Daily Read and I'm out.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Business.